I think that I have finally figured it out. Something that's been eating at my mind for so many years I can't begin to tell you. I have figured out how to reboot the Back to the Future franchise. However, I am running under the assumption that part 1 is better than part 2 and part 2 is better than part 3. Just needed to clear that up. The reason why Back to the Future is so brilliant is because they essentially created a failsafe for themselves. When they went to the future in part 2, they went to the year 2015. When they went to the year 2015, we saw hoverboards, flying cars, and most importantly, we saw Marty's family with his wife, his kids, and what his life is going to look like. Unfortunately for us, it's the year 2012 and we're very close to 2015 and we don't have any hoverboards, we don't have any flying cars. When trying to figure out how to redo the series, I've always had these similar thoughts. One of the ideas, of course, is just to start from scratch, get a new Marty, get a new Doc, but the problem with that is everyone would be really upset about it, and we all know that the originals are going to be better than whatever anyone pumps out right now. Another idea is to start the next movie in the year 1985, where part 3 left off, but the problem with that is Doc Brown ended up murdering the DeLorean. I feel like we've seen the adventures of Marty and Doc, and that's kind of run its course. Another idea is to start in the Wild West where Doc Brown currently is, but for some reason I don't think cowboys coming to modern day is exactly that great of an idea. But then I got to thinking, and I realized there's one major component that could keep this franchise going, and that is the videotape footage that Doc Brown had. Do you remember in part 1 when Marty McFly was filming Doc, and then Doc got shot by the Libyans, but then Marty went back to the year 1955, actually essentially saving Doc Brown's life by showing him the footage? Well, that footage is the spine to how you keep this franchise going. And I had this thought about these kids finding the footage of Doc Brown and Marty, seeing how to make a flux capacitor, what makes time travel possible, 1.21 gigawatts. Doc was awesome because he was like an old school YouTuber. He had a running diary of all of his adventures and how to time travel. Could you imagine if someone found that, the power of learning how to time travel? Well, that is how you keep the franchise going. An adventure based off of the footage from Doc Brown and Marty, and the beauty of it is it saves the integrity of the entire franchise because you can always reference it and you can see Marty, you can see Doc, you can see Biff and Jennifer and Einstein and all the things that we love about Back to the Future. Of course, the one major hang-up in all of this is the year 2012 and we're so far away from 2015 and having these flying cars. But the solve to this is that Doc Brown is responsible for the technology that creates the flying cars. We can see that through the videotapes. This is the only possible way that you can continue on with going about Back to the Future, is this footage. This is one of the best ideas in order to move the series forward. This is how you can reboot Back to the Future and have a semi-sequel to it.